In 1918, a group of experienced lobster fishermen off the coast of Australia experienced what could arguably be the most terrifying shark encounter ever recorded. What they described was a ghostly white creature, somewhere between 115 and 300 feet long, moving through the water with terrifying grace. Something that science says went extinct over 3 million years ago. Megalodon was the apex predator of its time. With teeth the size of your hand and jaws powerful enough to crush a car, this creature dominated the oceans for nearly 19 million years. Its name literally means big tooth, and for good reason. Each tooth could measure over 7 inches long, and it had 276 of them arranged in 5 deadly rows. But then, around 6 million years ago, Megalodon disappeared from the fossil record. Scientists declared it extinct. Case closed. Or is it because the stories never stopped? You're watching Science Revealed. Join me as we examine the evidence, explore the science, and answer the question, could the Megalodon still be alive? Everything you think you know about Megalodon might be wrong. For decades, scientists believed Megalodon was basically just a giant great white shark. Museums built reconstructions showing it as a supersized version of the great white. Movies portrayed it the same way. The teeth looked similar. Both were apex predators. Both hunted large marine mammals. But in 2025, groundbreaking research completely changed our understanding of what Megalodon actually looked like. A team of 28 international scientists, led by paleobiologist Dr. Kenshu Shimada, discovered something shocking. Megalodon wasn't a stocky, bulky shark like the great white at all. Instead, it was much more streamlined and elongated, similar in body shape to a modern lemon shark. But here's the truly terrifying part. This new understanding of Megalodon's body proportions means it was even bigger than we previously thought. Much bigger. The research team examined a rare set of fossilized vertebrae discovered in Belgium. This vertebral column measured 11 meters in length, but that only represented the trunk of the shark. The head and tail were missing. By comparing this specimen to 165 other living and extinct shark species, they were able to calculate the true proportions. The results were staggering. This Megalodon shark may have been up to 54 feet long. But that's not even the largest specimen we've ever found. Another fossilized vertebra from Denmark shows that some individuals could reach an incredible length of 80 feet, longer than a blue whale. The new research also revealed that Megalodon had a flatter, more squashed jaw compared to great whites with extra long pectoral fins to support its massive weight. Its snout was shorter and more curved to accommodate the enormous jaw muscles needed to power its bite. And speaking of that bite, let's talk about the sheer destructive power this creature possessed. Scientists conducted experiments to estimate Megalodon's bite force, and the numbers are almost incomprehensible. A single bite could generate up to 56 tons of force. That's 10 times more powerful than a great white shark and 25 times stronger than a Dunkleosteus, one of the most fearsome predators of the Devonian period. Those massive serrated teeth combined with that incredible bite force could pierce through bone like it was butter. Megalodon didn't just kill its prey, it obliterated it. Fossil evidence shows us exactly how Megalodon hunted. Bite marks on ancient whale bones reveal a sophisticated hunting strategy. For smaller prey, Megalodon would attack from below with enough force to shatter bones before delivering a final tearing bite. For larger prey like whales, it targeted vital organs, specifically the heart and lungs. The thick, powerful teeth could bite through the rib cage of even the largest whales, causing massive internal damage and rapid death. But here's what makes Megalodon truly fascinating from a biological perspective. Recent research suggests it was a mesotherm, a type of warm-blooded animal that could maintain its body temperature higher than the surrounding water. This gave Megalodon a huge advantage. It could hunt in a wide range of water temperatures and maintain high activity levels even in cooler waters. This adaptability meant Megalodon could patrol vast stretches of ocean from tropical waters to temperate zones, making it a truly global apex predator. The fossil record shows that Megalodon teeth have been found on every continent except Antarctica. This wasn't a creature confined to one region. It dominated oceans worldwide, sitting at the very top of the food chain with virtually no natural predators. For nearly 19 million years, Megalodon was the undisputed king of the seas. Nothing could challenge it. Nothing could escape it. And then mysteriously, it vanished. Now let's talk about what happened off the coast of Australia in 1918. Port Stephens, located along the New South Wales coast, was home to a thriving community of professional crayfish fishermen. When you understand that these men's entire livelihoods depended on fishing, when you realize they were choosing financial ruin over returning to the ocean, you begin to grasp just how terrified they were. Australian naturalist David Stead heard about the incident and traveled to Port Stephens to investigate personally. What he found was a group of men in a state of genuine fear, all telling the same story with remarkable consistency. They described encountering a massive shark, ghostly white in color, that measured somewhere between 115 and 300 feet in length. He interviewed multiple witnesses separately and found their accounts consistent. He examined the fishing equipment and boats for any signs of damage or interaction with a large marine animal, and he concluded that these men had genuinely encountered something extraordinary. The ghostly white coloration is particularly interesting. Great whites are typically gray on top, and white underneath a coloration called countershading that helps them hunt. But a completely white shark is extremely rare. Some marine biologists suggest that extreme age in sharks can lead to lighter coloration. Others point to genetic conditions like leucism, which causes partial loss of pigmentation. Could these fishermen have encountered an ancient, massive shark with unusual coloring? The Port Stephens incident also fits into a larger pattern of unusual shark sightings in Australian waters. Indigenous Australian cultures have oral traditions stretching back tens of thousands of years, and many of these stories include references to massive sea creatures. The Yolngu people of northeastern Arnhem Land tell stories of Baru, a giant creature that ruled the ancient seas. These stories describe massive predators that were white like bone and longer than many canoes, descriptions that bear striking similarities to the 1918 accounts. In Western Australia's remote Kimberley region, pearl divers reported encounters with massive sharks throughout the 20th century. The isolation of this area and its pristine marine environment make it a prime candidate for supporting unusual or unknown species. And these reports continue into modern times. In 2024, near Port Stephens, the same location as the 1918 incident, an angler had a stunning encounter with a massive great white shark. The fisherman said his head couldn't figure out what it was at first. He thought it might be a submarine or a whale. When he realized it was a great white shark, he wasn't prepared for the size. Australia seems to be a hotspot for encounters with unusually large sharks. Is this just because Australia has a lot of sharks and a lot of people paying attention to them? Or is there something about Australian waters that could support sharks of extraordinary size, perhaps, even prehistoric proportions? One of the most popular theories for Megalodon survival is that it's hiding in the deepest parts of the ocean places, like the Mariana Trench, where humans have barely explored. The ocean is vast and largely unknown. We've mapped more of the surface of Mars than we have of our own ocean floor. Well, let's examine this theory with the scientific evidence we have. The Mariana Trench reaches depths of over 36,000 feet. That's deeper than Mount Everest is tall. These abyssal environments remain largely unexplored and could theoretically support large unknown species. The countless Megalodon tooth fossils that have been discovered tell us something crucial about where these sharks lived. The distribution of these fossils indicates that Megalodon preferred warm, shallow coastal waters. Fossil teeth have been found in areas that were once continental shelves, the relatively shallow waters near coastlines. This makes sense when you consider what Megalodon ate. A creature weighing from several tens of tons to over 100 tons would need to consume an enormous amount of calories. Scientists calculate that a Megalodon, measuring 16 meters long and weighing over 60 tons, would need to consume about 98,000 calories per day. To give you perspective, that's enough calories to sustain a full-grown great white shark for over 3 weeks. Where would those calories come from? Megalodon's ideal diet consisted of high-calorie, high-fat creatures like whale seals, dolphins, and large fish. And you don't find those things in the deep ocean. The deep sea is actually a food desert. Life exists there, but it's sparse and small. The deepest dwelling fish we've found are snailfish at depths below 8,000 meters, and they're only about 20 centimeters long. There simply isn't enough food in the deep ocean to support a predator the size of Megalodon. A 50 to 80-foot shark would starve in the abyss. But what about the Mariana Trench specifically? Could Megalodon hide there? Again, the biology doesn't support it. The pressure at those depths is crushing over 1,000 times the atmospheric pressure at sea level. While some creatures have adapted to survive at those depths, they're all relatively small and have specialized adaptations. A massive shark with Megalodon's body structure would face enormous physiological challenges at those depths. There's also the temperature issue. The deep ocean is cold, typically between 2 and 4 degrees Celsius. While recent research suggests Megalodon was a mesotherm capable of maintaining its body temperature above the surrounding water, there are limits to this ability. Maintaining body heat in near-freezing water requires enormous amounts of energy, which brings us back to the food problem. There isn't enough prey in the deep ocean to support the caloric needs of a warm-blooded megapredator. Here's another crucial point. If Megalodon lived in the deep ocean, we would still find evidence of it in shallow waters. Sharks continuously shed their teeth throughout their lives. A single Megalodon could lose 40,000 teeth over its lifetime. These teeth are virtually indestructible. They're made of incredibly hard enamel that fossilizes easily and lasts for millions of years. If populations of Megalodons still existed, even if they lived primarily in deep water, we should be finding fresh teeth washing up on beaches regularly. We should be finding them on the ocean floor during deep sea surveys. But we don't. The youngest Megalodon teeth we've ever found are approximately 6 million years old. If Megalodon existed in significant numbers anywhere in the ocean, we should have detected some evidence by now. Large sharks leave traces. They interact with other marine life. They would show up on sonar. They would leave bite marks on whales and other prey. They would be caught on underwater cameras. If Megalodon still existed, we wouldn't see whales reaching the sizes they do today. The presence of a super predator like Megalodon would keep whale sizes in check. The fact that blue whales can grow to over 100 feet long and weigh over 200 tons suggests there's no predator in the ocean capable of regularly hunting them. If Megalodon were still around, whales would be much smaller and much more cautious. But just because we haven't found proof doesn't mean it's impossible. The ocean is genuinely vast and genuinely mysterious. New species are discovered regularly, and some of them are quite large. The giant squid was considered a myth until we finally photographed a living specimen in 2004. The coelacanth was thought to be extinct for 66 million years, until a living specimen was caught in 1938. The ocean has a proven track record of hiding secrets. So if Megalodon isn't hiding in the deep ocean, what actually happened to it? Why did the most dominant predator in ocean history simply disappear? The answer is more complex and more fascinating than you might think. And it involves a perfect storm of environmental changes that even the mighty Megalodon couldn't survive. The fossil record tells us that Megalodon went extinct around 3.6 million years ago, though some researchers suggest it might have survived slightly longer in certain isolated environments. What we know for certain is that Megalodon thrived during the Miocene epoch, a period of warm global temperatures and abundant marine life. But towards the end of the Miocene, about 5 million years ago, everything started to change. The Earth's climate began shifting dramatically. Global temperatures started dropping as the planet moved toward an ice age. Scientists Catalina Pimiento and Alberto Ferron analyzed Megalodon's global distribution through time and found something surprising. Megalodon was actually capable of inhabiting colder latitudes. Its distribution didn't correlate directly with warming or cooling temperature trends. Remember, Megalodon was likely a mesotherm, able to maintain its body temperature above the surrounding water. It could handle a fairly wide range of temperatures. So if it wasn't the cold that killed Megalodon, what was it? The answer lies in what happened to its food supply. As the climate changed, something catastrophic happened to the ocean's ecosystem. Marine megafauna. The largest species of ocean animals began dying off at alarming rates. During the Pliocene epoch, extinction rates were incredibly high. 55% of large marine mammals went extinct. 43% of sea turtles disappeared. Even 9% of shark species vanished. In total, 36% of large marine species went extinct during this period. There's another factor that made things even worse. Sea levels fluctuated dramatically during the Pliocene. These changes impacted coastal habitats, the shallow water nursery areas where young megalodons would have grown up. If the breeding grounds were disrupted, it would have been incredibly difficult for megalodon populations to maintain themselves. Sharks have relatively slow reproductive rates compared to other fish. They produce fewer offspring, and those offspring take years to reach maturity. When breeding habitats are destroyed, shark populations can collapse quickly. Megalodon didn't just face environmental challenges. It also faced competition from a smaller, more efficient predator. A predator that's still with us today. The great white shark. Now I know what you're thinking. How could a great white, which maxes out at about 20 feet, possibly compete with an 80-foot megalodon? As food became scarce, being big became a disadvantage. Megalodon needed massive amounts of food every day. A great white shark needs far less. When prey populations crashed, the great whites could survive on smaller meals. They could hunt smaller prey that Megalodon couldn't efficiently target. They were more agile, more adaptable, and required less energy to maintain their body temperature. In an ocean with dwindling food resources, the great white's smaller size became an advantage. There's also evidence that ancient toothed whales, the ancestors of modern killer whales, were competing with Megalodon for the same prey. These smaller, more intelligent predators hunted in groups and could take down large prey cooperatively. They were also more adaptable to changing ocean conditions. As the environment shifted, these smaller predators thrived while Megalodon struggled. When the ocean's ecosystem collapsed, efficiency beat raw power. So is Megalodon still alive deep beneath the ocean? Based on everything we know from science, from fossil evidence, from ocean ecology, and from modern marine biology, the answer is almost certainly no. Megalodon went extinct approximately 3.6 million years ago, and there's no credible evidence to suggest otherwise. The fossil record is clear. The youngest Megalodon teeth we found are millions of years old. If breeding populations existed, we would be finding fresh teeth regularly. We're not. But here's what I find most fascinating about the Megalodon mystery. The fact that we're still talking about it, still wondering, still hoping in some strange way that it might be out there, tells us something important about ourselves and our relationship with the ocean. The ocean represents the last true frontier on Earth. It's vast, dangerous, and largely unexplored. In an age where satellite imagery can show us every corner of land, where we've mapped distant planets and sent probes to the edge of our solar system, the sea remains genuinely mysterious. Whether or not Megalodon still exists, the ocean definitely contains creatures and phenomena we haven't discovered yet. New species are found regularly. Deep-sea ecosystems continue to surprise us. The giant squid was a myth until we finally photographed one. The coelacanth was extinct until it wasn't. The ocean still holds mysteries. There are still discoveries to be made. And who knows? Maybe one day we'll find something in those unexplored depths that challenges everything we think we know. If you found this deep dive into Megalodon fascinating, make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss our next video, where we'll be exploring other prehistoric marine predators and asking whether any of them could still be lurking in the depths. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this investigation, and let me know in the comments what you think. Do you believe Megalodon is truly extinct? Or do you think there's a chance it's still out there somewhere? I read every comment, and I love hearing your thoughts. And you're definitely going to love our other video about terrifying encounters with giant squids. You can find the link in the description below, or in the card showing on your screen right now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.